right, welcome everyone to the MMOs.com podcast, episode 140. Altai here, joined by
Omer.
All right. Any starting words, or should we go right to the weekly raid?
Well, we didn't do a Grindfest Friday this last week, but we should be doing one this Friday. Most likely for SoulWorker Online, which just launched this week, so look forward to that.
Yep.
And beyond that, I've just been addicted to Final Fantasy 14 as usual, so that's been my week. You tripped out to Puerto Rico?
I did. I went to Puerto Rico.
There?
Any highlights? I just ate a lot of food, drank beer, and watched TV in the Airbnb. It's a nice place, but it's been hit pretty hard by that hurricane thing. Very
Hurricane thing.
Yeah.
Fucking Irma.
Was it Irma? I don't know.
Was it? Yeah, it was Irma. Harvey hit.
Okay.
They should give it like a Hispanic name. Is Irma Hispanic? Who decides these names are hurricanes?
Chiquita. All right, that's a good one.
Where is Hurricane Xavier? Huh? That's a classy fucking hurricane.
Well, don't they go in order, like
Hurricane.
alphabetical order? So that's gonna come up eventually.
I want to see Hurricane Xavier. All right, that's if you're gonna hit by a hurricane, get hit by a classy hurricane. All right, not that Harvey. Baka business. Anyway, let's roll with it.
All right, let's start. Okay, so this week we want to talk about how should MMORPGs handle the early game. This kind of came up a few weeks ago when we talked and ranted about experience leveling potions, right? Instant level potions.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's a band-aid solution, right? The famous case with Final Fantasy 14 is even the head
of the game.
The director of the game says basically, we know the early game sucks, but here's a potion for $20. Drink it. So that's a band-aid solution, and we want to kind of brainstorm with you guys and see if we can come up with some better ideas. And Omer, why don't you start? What do you think? First of all, there's two separate problems here. I actually don't mind the early game if I'm getting in day one, because I love seeing a whole bunch of players all level 1 and we all moving through the world together, at different paces. We get to the second zone, the third zone, etc. Right? I love that experience. My best experience with a lot of games is that first month at launch, leveling to max level with everyone else. So that's, I don't know if there's much of a problem there, but maybe there is. You can let me know. But the thing we can both agree is a problem for sure is when you play a game that's already like 5 or 6 years old and you're level 1, everyone else is level max, and the early game is just a bunch of empty shitty zones that are huge and all these shitty quests, and it takes like 50 hours to get to max level, and it's pointless. So that we can agree it's a problem. So what is the solution?
I think the first bit is a problem as well. Even
really?
If you play a game at launch. Let's say closers. We both played closers relatively close to launch, right? Don't you think the early game just felt like dead and soulless inside? We were going through the motions of playing closers, but there was nothing happening. The dungeons were stupid easy. At the end of every dungeon, we look at inventory, it's full of like 50 items, like all these bullshit items. And I'm like, oh god, which one of these are good? I'm highlighting every single one at a time. Like, it just seemed like I was going through the motions. I had no vested interest in my character. In fact, I have a rule of thumb for MMORPGs in most games when I know like it's not well designed. Did you look forward to leveling up in closer?
No.
I didn't. In fact, I let my skill points build up to like 8 skill points and I used them all at once because it didn't matter. But at no point was I felt like I had to use my skill points or I wanted to level up or I'm like, oh my god, I want to get that next piece of gear. At no point, and not to pick on closers by the way, because this is not a problem with closers. This is a problem I think with the RPG genre as a whole.
It's a problem with closers. What you just described.
It's the genre.
Hold up. The reason you didn't have fun leveling in closers is because it was like a mediocre game.
I had more fun leveling in closers actually than most MMORPGs because of the action combat. Because it was like these self-contained levels. Actually, I would say the core combat and leveling was better.
You didn't seem to care about your character, etc. Right?
No, of course not.
That highlights bad design decisions around the character levels and stuff. Like gear in closers, I wasn't really sure what I was equipping. It was like cubes and stuff, right? It wasn't like gear. It was like it just felt weird, right? Like you had 3 slots for like I don't know. Like there were like 3 cubes on the top of your character and 3 cubes on the bottom, and they did stuff, right? So the problem there wasn't the early game. I feel like, okay, imagine you started closers at level 50, right? You have the same problem, I think.
I don't think so.
I
think
do.
It applies, no, because look, this problem is not exclusive to closers. Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, off the top of my head right now, these 3 games. The entire leveling process in any of these games, each level means nothing. Like at no point are you like looking forward to that new piece of gear. In fact, I don't think I've ever looked forward to a new piece of gear until maybe Ragnarok Online, because I remember in Ragnarok Online you could get like the If you could, people were selling cards in town. And if you could put those cards into your low level gear, you could actually materially influence, like you could actually impact your gameplay a lot. Where you were actually looking forward to stuff like that, to be able to maybe find a card to change your game. Like real talk, in Final Fantasy 14, World of Warcraft, or Closers, it didn't matter what loot I got from doing those dungeons. It made no difference. I gave no fucks about my progression. I gave no fucks about my stat points or my yeah. It doesn't matter.
So I don't know. I personally had a really good time leveling in games like WoW or Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like
because you're looking at vanilla WoW. WoW today is still different.
No, I'm talking about then. Yeah.
Well, again,
so,
that's a whole different argument.
So hold on. I think we're kind of arguing two different things. If you start WoW today with current WoW, the reason you won't have fun, even let's say there's a wipe, okay? Everyone wipes. You all start level 1 on the current WoW server, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think you'll have as much fun because there's no challenge. There's other design problems. It's not the fact that you're early level.
The item problem exists too, because even in vanilla WoW, I remember like you had to run the Dead Mines a couple times if you want to get the gear, like the weapon to drop. Yeah. Like we would actually run Dead Mines, which is the first like dungeon in the game in like Westfall or something, multiple times to get the gear. Like we were doing it to gear up.
Yeah.
In no modern MMORPG do you give any fucks about gearing up early on because you steamroll the content.
Sure, but that's a problem with the design of today's games. I'm talking specifically about early game here, not whether it's a good game or a bad game.
Well, but that's impacted by the fact that if you're not looking forward to leveling up.
Yeah, it's a bad game. That's what it means.
To,
yeah.
Item upgrades.
Yeah.
But this problem exists in the early game. It doesn't exist in the late game. In Final Fantasy 14, I'm actually super excited because today is reset day in Final Fantasy 14, and today I'm guaranteed I'm gonna get a new boots, new waist piece, which is best in slot for my character, for my boots, my waist piece, and I'm gonna upgrade my pants. I'm actually looking forward to getting 3 new pieces of gear in Final Fantasy 14. Not because I needed to beat the content. It would be best in slot and my damage will go up a lot. I'm really looking forward to getting that new piece of gear. And I haven't felt that in Final Fantasy 14 until I got to max level. At no point pre-max level, I gave 0 fucks about my progression, my gear, anything. None of that stuff mattered. And that's awful though, because it should matter. At least in MapleStory back in the day, even MapleStory today, you could still look forward to the job advancements in between max level, right? And it mattered. Like, I want to look forward to something.
Okay, hold up. So okay, I feel like I got to clear this up. So imagine MapleStory back when we started, okay? I would argue, and imagine you start the day the servers go live, right? That early game is fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the problem is not early game. The problem...
MapleStory today is still better, I would say, than...
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. So, but MapleStory day 1, during, the old days, right? It's just Scania. That's fun. That early game is okay with you. So it's not that okay, so that's fine. So the problem seems to me to be as these games get longer, right? As more years pass, they add new content, new end game content, right? The early stuff becomes kind of outdated because nobody's there. MapleStory wouldn't be fun even back then if you were the only one playing on the server, right?
No, World of Warcraft today is not fun early game. Whether you're playing with 1,000 people. Final Fantasy 14 today is not fun if you have 1,000 people playing with you in every zone and it feels full. That wouldn't change. That early game sucks.
Well, WoW today, yes. But what about vanilla WoW? Everyone starts level 1. That's fine.
But it has nothing to do with everyone else playing that too. What made vanilla WoW fun was I was looking for, because every level felt meaningful. I felt like when I got stronger, I needed to get stronger. Good. I was looking forward to new gear.
So that's not a problem with early. Okay, but that can be a problem. That's just bad design then. Like I agree, a lot of games have bad design today. Whether it's end game or early game. Imagine Final Fantasy. Imagine Final Fantasy 14 had no raids, 0 raids. You level max level, you got the best gear already. Wouldn't that end game suck?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the point. Is not end game or early game. It's the sense of progression and accomplishment and receiving meaningful rewards, and that can happen at early game or end game.
You're right. However, the problem exists. But the thing is, World of Warcraft doesn't have this problem. It does not have this problem in the late game. Final Fantasy 14 does not have this problem.
And I would argue the reason. But the reason is because
as these number of players. Don't give me these number of players. Not the players.
No, because it's been so many years these games came out, and they kept adding new content for end game players, right? So that made the early game stuff pointless. And I think all these companies, Final Fantasy, WoW, MapleStory, they all realize they want people to speed past their early game as fast as possible to get to that end game. Okay.
No, if you reset Final Fantasy 14 today and you reset World of Warcraft today, everyone just logs to World of Warcraft today and all their characters are gone. And they all make new characters and they're playing through level 1 to 120. Whatever.
Under vanilla settings for both games.
No. In today's settings, do you think that the problem is fixed?
No, it's not fixed because.
But the way you address this problem was that it was they added more content later, which fucked up the early content. That's not true.
It is. They intentionally made it easier. The early stuff. They intentionally made the early stuff easier.
It then.
Exactly to speed it up.
Okay. But just adding stuff to the end didn't change the early game. It was actively changing the design philosophy.
Yes, because they wanted you to go through the early game fast to get to that new stuff. Okay. Now the question we have now is: so once again, I want to say, I think if you start a brand new launched MMORPG, a good one, right?
We played closers at launch, and I think it's suffering from the same problems.
That's not a good one. That's a problem. If you play a good MMORPG at launch with a bunch of people, I think you will have fun during the leveling process. Going through the zones with everyone for the first time.
No, that's not the fun part. The fun part for me in MMORPGs is always looking forward to getting stronger, right?
That's part of it. You're getting stronger.
That was it. That was you're getting stronger, but with people around you too, so you can see how strong they are, right?
Yeah.
And their progression.
Yeah.
And your progression.
Yeah.
But none of that means anything in a modern MMORPG today because you're steamrolling the content.
Because they intentionally did. Yes.
No. SoulWorker today is unbelievably easy. Whether it just came out recently. And guess what? That's SoulWorker. We're playing closers, right? I bet SoulWorker will be the same way. And that is, I bet you any MMORPG that launches today will be the same way, where the early content is designed not around just getting to the end game. It's just not fun because it's easy. And what we're looking for is fun, is that progression and that meaningful, getting stronger. It happens in the end game.
No, does it really? Why can't it happen? Nothing prevents it from happening in the early game. Besides the developers making a choice to not do it in the early game. Because, like you said, in MapleStory, in WoW, it happened. And when Final Fantasy 14 first came out, I bet those initial dungeons were challenging and fun for people to go through together.
The process of gear. Look, forget the player skill getting better as well. The problem is in a game, if I am not allocating my stat points or my skill points, right? When I level up and I get skill points, and I care so little about the game that I'm not going to even use those skill points until they pile up to like 10.
Okay.
Or I'm not even checking my inventory for new gear because I'm just steamrolling the content, right? That's the problem. Vanilla WoW never had that problem.
Hold up.
When you got to upgrade Vanilla WoW,
I agree. I think we're talking past each other. All you're saying, and I'm agreeing with you, is Closer's a shit game. SoulWorker is a shit game. That's what we're saying to each other. I agree. Okay.
No, that's what
I'm saying. If I start a game at level 1 and it's easy, like I can't die, it's a shit game. That's it.
You described every single MMORPG ever.
I guess they're all shit.
From now until eternity.
No, I don't think so.
Everything is shit now?
No, I don't think Pantheon will do that. I think in Pantheon, you will have to party at level 5 to clear the stuff when it comes out. Now,
yeah, but Pantheon. Okay, now you look at a game that's aimed at, like, trying to harken back to the olden days. Yeah, because they're trying to fix what I think is somewhat broken. Look, I think you can have it easy, right? I think you gotta be able to. It's okay to be easy if you still look forward to like MapleStory, for example, was always easy. MapleStory is the ultimate example. It was never difficult. Grinding MapleStory was never hard. It was always brain dead easy. You couldn't really fuck it up, right? Yes, the potion, like being able to afford potions was annoying and difficult maybe, but they could tweak that numbers and made it casual there. It wouldn't be a problem. But the process of I was always looking forward to new gear. Like if something dropped in MapleStory, I would check right away. Can I equip this? Is it better than what I have?
You're talking about pacing, right? We're calling it as pacing, and I agree, it's important.
Both skill points and gear progression.
That's pacing, okay.
The early game aspect of gear progression.
I don't know.
Skill points
maybe I'm not doing a good job explaining myself, but like I feel like we're talking past each other. I think I know what you mean, but I don't think you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, and I can't.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a modern game that you think, like, because you kept saying that if the problem seems to be that they keep adding content to the end and want to rush people there.
Yes.
I don't think that's.
I think so. I think Final Fantasy, WoW, MapleStory, they all intentionally made the early game less relevant and quicker and boring and easy and unchallenging, just so people could zoom past it and get to that and new content. I think it was a conscious decision, and they didn't have to do that, but they just chose to.
But I think MapleStory early game is still better than WoW early game, and even Final Fantasy 14 early game. Because you're still looking forward to your levels and your gear progression.
Well, there's a few things MapleStory did right, and I mentioned it in the weekly raid. They didn't just make you start at a higher level the way WoW and Final Fantasy give you the option. What they did instead was they actually revamped the whole world. So they did kind of what WoW did with Cataclysm, right? They streamlined the world, and they made leveling faster, and they added that whole level guide where you can actually instantly teleport to new hunting grounds, right? To kind of speed you along. So that's a good fix. But I think the best fix, and a few guys in chat have already mentioned it. I was trying to get to this. Path of Exile. Every 3 months they add a new feature to the game. This time they added the whole beast. Yeah, you catch beasts and like you can do stuff with them.
Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, but what they do every time they do this is they start a new league. So everyone has to start level 1 every time, and that kind of keeps the cycle going. Where it's always they don't make the game actually. Well, there's an argument to be made they made the game easier, but the game isn't easier in the sense that they intentionally want you to get to the higher level faster each time. It's just that you might have more skill, so you get there faster. But so that's a good fix. Start everyone. The league's a good fix, and I think a lot of other games can do this. I think Crowfall is trying to do this, where they're gonna have servers that last a few months, and then somebody wins. It's gonna be like Crowfall is gonna be this PvP themed MMO where there's gonna be a winner at the end of this, like a 3 to 6 month campaign, and then a new one starts. So that's a good fix, but making it cyclical.
I think we can both agree that there's a big problem though even with World of Warcraft today, with Final Fantasy 14 today, where the solution to this problem of the early game being not fun is these potions. So you just skip all that bullshit.
No, and they made it not fun on purpose so they can sell you the potion.
I don't think so. I don't think Final Fantasy 14 was ever fun at the beginning.
I think the day it launched, I think people going through that content for the first time together and it was more challenging because they didn't dumb it down. I think people had fun. And if anyone in chat played, Final Fantasy 14 day one, you can let me know. But I would bet that that's the case. I would bet a lot of money that you had fun.
They didn't change the content to make it easier, actually. What makes the content easier in 14 now is the fact that you have higher level gear and you maybe doing level roulettes and you're playing the lower level content. No, I played 14 without the level skip potion on my main character from 1 to 70. But I did it with the gear. I didn't get like free gear for my friends. I did it with all the gear I got from the story. I experienced the game as it was.
By yourself, though.
No, sure.
Yeah, that's not fun.
What do you mean? You still do dungeons with other people. Like you have to do some of the dungeons with other people and stuff. I don't think I had fun with Final Fantasy 14 until I got the end game. And I think this describes World of Warcraft today as well. I don't think anyone playing World of Warcraft today has fun until they get to the end game and they start. It doesn't have to be raiding. There's a lot more to do in Final Fantasy 14. There's a lot more to do in World of Warcraft than just raiding. You can just collect all the pets, all the mounts. There's so much shit to do. You can do pet battles and stuff. Collect everything, get your house. There's more to do in these games than raiding. For me, raiding was what made the game a lot of fun. Trying to maximize my numbers and looking forward to new gear every week. Like I am actually eager to get new gear in Final Fantasy 14. Like I don't know why, but like I haven't felt that feeling in a long time where I was looking forward to this like slight stat boost. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get it tonight.
Okay, I see what you're saying, and maybe I'm not wording what I'm trying to say well. This is definitely something we got to come back to, and we can talk about this, off the podcast too when we go to eat or something. But we got to nail down what exactly we're talking about here, because I do personally think the leveling experience, even doing like fetch quest and like the talk quest and stuff, can be a lot of fun if you're doing it, with everyone else for the first time. Like I said, I've said this a few times. My first month playing Star Wars Old Republic, I had a lot of fun. I got to max level. I barely rated it before I quit. But just that first experience of just going through all the planets, so landing on a planet even in WoW, or just going into a new zone for the first time, knowing that I'm there, and everyone else seeing it for the first time too, was amazing for me. I think that was a great experience for me. But you're right. Today's games don't do that. Today seems to be everything is you can't die. You just go forward and click A and then you win, right? That's not fun. It seems to me
that there are easy solutions to this, which is I don't know why it's not being done.
What is the easy solution?
Here's the easy solution that I think would enhance the game for a lot of people. Because I think, like, imagine while you're leveling in World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 or any modern MMORPG, you're doing the main story quest, right? There's the option on some of the dungeons or the bosses or the instance encounters where you fight one-on-one, right? So maybe that there's an easy mode and a hard mode. That's it. Just once in a while throw an easy mode and hard mode, and if you do a hard mode, it syncs you to. It gives you a specific level, like it syncs all your stats down to exactly specific number, and you have to do a very hard encounter by yourself. And if you can do that encounter by yourself, you get like a cosmetic. That's it. No gameplay stuff. You get a nice cosmetic, maybe a title. That alone would make the game feel interesting, because if I had that in Final Fantasy 14, I'd be like, I would try it and I would lose. And if I would lose, I'd be like, the fuck? Me mashing my fire 1 button, like I couldn't kill this with my default retard rotation. Wait. I want to learn how to play this game now because I want to beat this challenge. I want that title. I don't want to look like a scrub. Okay,
as someone who hasn't played Final Fantasy 14 too much, maybe we're off sync here.
Apply that to everything.
Okay, I'll play. Okay, the dungeons for me were a super unimportant part of the leveling experience. If I can, playing WoW or Star Wars, right? If the open world part, the world quest, seeing the environments, if that part wasn't good, I don't think having a hard mode for the dungeons would help.
But that part was never bad. In World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, the overworld, the world building was always good.
Yeah.
The problem was the pacing was awful and retarded, and you never learned how to play your character.
That's not true. That's not true of the games I'm talking about. No, that's not true when these games launched. It became true later when they intentionally nerfed it. Like Star Wars, Old Republic. You can't die in those dungeons right now. We did one together. I remember dying on that. If you pulled two things, you were dead.
Yes. Yeah, World of Warcraft intentionally made it easier as well, but Final Fantasy 14 didn't. It's actually they didn't actually make it easier. It's easier now because people that do the old content, even if it's synced, have better gear and they're synced at higher levels. So it actually did not nerf the numbers. And I was surprised because one of my friends was telling me that because I didn't know that either. But if they just added a hard mode into certain encounters, it would force players to like, okay, I leveled up, I gotta make sure I understand my new skills, right? But in 14, I didn't even look at my new abilities. I just mashed the easiest buttons in the world because it didn't matter. Like, it's embarrassing that I was able to reach max level without even realizing where my threat meter was in the game. Like, threat is such a basic concept of MMORPGs. It wasn't until I started raiding, I didn't know where that meter was, let alone managing it and shit. I didn't know I had abilities that would like manage my threat. It didn't matter. I didn't know what the indicators were.
I think we agree the games have to be harder, but I don't think it has to be just in raids. In the games I'm talking about, if you pulled two mobs instead of like one in the open world, just doing you would die, right? So you had to learn your class not just in dungeons, but just in the open world. You couldn't do a random quest.
But here's the thing: I realized why they did that too, and we have to throw them a bone, the designers of all these games, because it wouldn't happen simultaneously in WoW, EverQuest, literally Dark Ages. Every MMORPG today has made the game easier, right? Yeah. We have to realize that it's appealing to casuals, and I don't think us wanting a hardcore game will change that, which is why I think my solution works. Make all that stuff easy still. Make it all brain dead easy as is. Don't change that. The only thing they have to add is making a hard mode.
First of all, we should not have instance dungeons. So that's a horrible design decision in MMORPGs, in my opinion. So Black Desert Online is the way to go. We need open world, persistent, all the way through. It's trying to segment the game makes it not an MMORPG in my IMO.
It's no, because you have to. No, come on. I mean, look, now you're arguing what you think is an ideal MMORPG. I agree with you. Ideal MMORPG has one persistent world without instance. I'm with you on that. But if you want to take Final Fantasy 14 and WoW, you can't just completely revamp the game to fit your mold. So I think it's a good solution that would fix. I think it would make everybody appreciate the game more.
I don't know. We're talking ideal here. I mean, they're not going to make these games harder, like you said, anyway. So,
but they can do the solution I'm saying because it doesn't require a revamp. It just requires adding like every 5 hours of gameplay, you add one fight to the game where you can make it really hard, like a harder mode or an easier mode. That's it. And if you can still face roll, if you want to face roll the content, you can still face roll the content. But give me a reason to learn the game. Again, I will never learn how to play a game if being a retard and mashing my one attack always works. Like, I'm not going to experiment with my other abilities till my kit just starts failing. Until I run into challenge, I'm not going to learn. And I didn't learn the game until I hit max level. And I think most people, whether it's WoW or Final Fantasy 14, have that same issue. And this seems to be like a pretty easy fix. Just add a couple encounters throughout the leveling process. It would make the game much more enjoyable.
It won't hurt, sure. But I don't think it's like a huge innovation.
I think it'd be night and day. Because I think it would make the games... I think... Because I honestly... The leveling process in modern day WoW and 14 and Guild Wars 2, it really feels like bizarre. It feels like, why am I doing this? It's such a chore. There's no challenge, and
that's the problem. There's no challenge. It doesn't matter if it's like.
But the thing is, we realize, but you have to. We have to throw them a bone because every game has done the no challenge thing. There's a reason they did that. Maybe because they want to appeal to casuals, right? But you can have the casuals and appease people like you and me who want more of a challenge, without disrupting everything. If they do it through hard modes in certain encounters, that's it.
It's a band-aid. It's a band-aid. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, people like you and me have to play niche games like Pantheon, and just let the plebs have everything else. That's what's going to come down to. I don't think it's going to go any other way.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well.
Now, with these leveling potions, too, it just seems such a weird solution to this problem. I mean, it's so good. What's especially weird is you get a free leveling potion to 110. in World of Warcraft. You get a free potion in Guild Wars 2 if you buy the expansion. I think Final Fantasy 14 is the only one where if you buy the expansion, you don't get a leveling potion. You know?
No.
Even though they're the only game where the director admitted that the early game sucks, and they still won't let you skip it.
I in the weekly I specifically said I think Final Fantasy is like triply guilty here because one, you don't get a free level boost with the expansion purchase, right? The way you do in Guild Wars and WoW, like you said. Two, you have to buy the experience boost. Three, you got to buy the story skip boost.
Yep.
So that's a triple threat right there.
Triple threat triads.
Yeah. But you know, this is an interesting topic, and it seems like something we actually have a pretty big disagreements on, which is good. Usually we seem to be on the same side. So I want to talk about this more with you off podcast, and maybe we can revisit it with more sharpened views next time.
Strive. I think we're always chasing. I think everyone is chasing that old high. I think Ultima Online for me and my brother have been like our best. I would describe Ultima Online as my best gaming experience ever. Like it just gave me all the highs. I think it was the most perfect MMORPG. But I think everyone feels that way for their first game. I mean, whether it was RuneScape for some people, whether it was even like one guy on YouTube messaged me how much he loves RF Online. Like everyone's got their first game where they get the biggest high. And I think most people are still chasing that high. I don't think Final Fantasy 14 comes close to that high, but it's the closest I've been like to really enjoying an MMORPG of recent times. So it's a different feeling, but I'm still looking for that high, which is why I played Albion Online, and I didn't quite get it there. But hopefully one day I'll feel that way again. Hopefully I'll feel alive again.
But before we move on though, what are your thoughts on the cyclical like resetting in MMORPGs? So think leagues in Path of Exile or Diablo 3, and think games like Crowfall, they're gonna have these like 8-month campaigns, and then one guy wins and it resets.
If you design your game from the get-go with that, it could be a good idea. But it just seems so like weird that in an MMORPG, like all the stuff you work towards all of a sudden becomes like not like it's not relevant in the current season anymore. You can still like use that in the other league, but I don't know how that would work. Has any MMORPG actually done that? Like Path of Exile has, but it's not a traditional.
Yeah. No, but what I would argue is there are a lot of people out there that play games like EverQuest or World of Warcraft or Ragnarok Online, and they habitually jump between private servers because they like that build-up part of the game. They start a new character, they get to max level, they figure they figure out what they want to do, they get what they want to get, and then they move to a new server. So I think in MMORPGs, I think that we can't throw out this early game. That's what I'm trying to get back to.
You can't. I agree. You can't. Because you can't tell somebody like, hey, start playing this new game with me, buddy. Like you make a friend, you like tell them to play Final Fantasy with your World of Warcraft with you. Oh, by the way, you're gonna have to grit your teeth for 10 hours and have no fun. You should be like, fuck you, I don't want to play that. No, you can't give it up. It has to be more enjoyable, one way or another.
Yeah.
And I of modern MMORPGs, I can't think of one where the early game was like actually fun. MapleStory. Maybe I have a weird view of MapleStory because I've played it before and I can look forward to like I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for MapleStory, but I think the early game there, even with the modern tweaks of making it stupid easy, I still feel the progression is more fun there.
Yeah, I miss that. You can't have an MMORPG without that early game, I think, because at that point you just have like a MOBA or a shooter. If all that's the game is like you're no longer going to progress on your skills. Like your character is no longer going to grow, right? You no longer have an MMORPG, I think.
I mean, true.
All right. Woo. All right. Let's
make early game great again. All right. With the hats. Make early game great again.
We'll see. We gotta figure out what exactly how to do that. But I do want to move from this because I saw that Black Desert Online, which I mentioned earlier, their mobile version came out in Korea this week. Did you see any trailers or any videos for this?
I saw some Separa videos for it, and it looked pretty spicy. But until I play it myself, I kind of have to reserve judgment, though. Because it's out already, I should be able to download the APK, and I'm gonna try giving it a shot this week.
Yeah, and it seems to be doing well. It's #1 in Korea right now, both on iOS and Android. And 2, I hear it's got no autoplay.
Oh, God bless. Are you sure? Really?
That's what I've been reading on the grapevine. So here's some gameplay I'm showing on here. It does look a lot. The UI looks a lot like every other mobile MMORPG. With the movement thing on the left, and then the 4 skills in a circular pattern on the right. But if it's got no autoplay, that's a good sign.
It's a persistent world as well, which is something you don't see in many of these mobile MMORPGs. Usually, it follows that closers model with the instanced areas. It looks pretty. I mean, the character, even the fact that Pearl Abyss, I can already view they're a very competent company, very competent, because no other mobile MMORPG had even close to the appearance customization of this game. The character creator in this game is similar to the PC version, where you can change so many little things about your character's face, your hair color, skin color, tattoos, so many options. Literally every other game prior to this on mobile has the shittiest appearance customization. With Lineage 2 Revolution, which was they splashed so much money marketing that game, they paid all the streamers to play that shit. It's one of the highest grossing mobile games in the world. There's 4 face options and 2 hair options. We're talking old school area games, Shea or Last Chaos style appearance customization. There's nothing. Why did it take Pearl Abyss to do this? And Pearl Abyss is a tiny company in relation to NCSoft, Nexon, all these giant mobile gaming companies. You've had even Western companies try approaching this model. There was Order and Chaos Online. The appearance customization sucks. How on earth did these guys actually fix it? The fact that they were able to actually make it decent and good is mind-blowing. It shows they're capable people. And I think you heard a story a while ago that they developed the engine for BDO for only $1 million.
Yep.
So it's one of the most efficiently made games out there. And I contrast that to other game companies that are more incompetent, like Bluehole, for example, with PUBG. We talked a little bit about Battle Royale in the early game, but the netcode still sucks in PUBG. It's one of the biggest games in the world, over 3 million concurrent players, and their netcode is awful. The game's still 1 in 10 games. If I launch the game, I'm stuck on the splash screen and I can't even get into the game. I gotta close it. Sometimes the game just crashes. But then I know right away that Bluehole is going to be a very, very slow to fix their problems, if ever. Whereas if you look at Pearl Abyss, there's a chance it's going to be a great game. I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to trying it. See the first look video hopefully later this week.
I have high hopes for Pearl Abyss. They are going to use this engine for other games. They've already stated in development, and I think this is going to be a big company. They're going to get bought out by a company, and then whatever they work on will be really, really good. Someone said in chat, how important is customization for mobile games? I would argue just as important. There's no reason not to think it's just as important as anything else.
I think it's very important. Again, just appearance customization, I think is kind of, if done well, it's awesome. If done pretty poorly or meh, it doesn't mean anything. A lot of MMORPGs, I give no fucks about appearance customization because it's done really poorly. There's not much you can do with your character. Whereas games like 14 or Black Desert, you still kind of stuck the molds and you still have gender locks. But in Final Fantasy 14, I actually like my character. It's just done really well. Where you can actually fall in love with your character. You like the way you can dress up your character, the way you look. But when there's little options, it's meh. So it has to be either really good or it doesn't really add anything.
Indeed. All right, I have a few triggery stories. If
all right, come trigger me.
Come trigger you. Okay, this is not even that. Okay, this is gonna be about SoulWorker, and I know you hate IP blocks, right?
Yes.
So SoulWorker, as you know, has. Here's a funny thing. They didn't even start by IP blocking. They just added it after people already made characters. Did you hear about this?
No, that's what?
Yeah. So if they only have the license for America and Europe, but they only announced IP blocks after people already made characters and stuff.
The fuck?
Yeah. So
people made their characters, and then they tried to log in, and it says, "Too bad, you're IP blocked. You're banned." Wow, that just shows incompetence again. And I don't understand the nerve of the developer behind SoulWorker. Who made SoulWorker? What company was it? Was it NeoWiz or something? I'm gonna look. The nerve behind them. They think they got a pot of gold here with SoulWorker. It's like the next best game since fucking World of Warcraft. It's fucking SoulWorker. I mean, it looks good. It's decent, but just have one license for everywhere outside your home market. Just let one company run the show. What? It's so unbelievably stupid that they think they can license it to Gameforge to only run it in America and Europe, and they're going to license to one company to run it in South America and one company to run it in the Middle East. Dude, this game isn't that big. Relax. The game's not that great. It's not gonna have a booming player base in South America, a booming player base in Middle East, booming player base in Russia, where these 5 different regions can support themselves. That's nonsense. There's maybe enough people in the world to have one server for SoulWorker and be relatively busy. That's it.
So we don't know if they're gonna expand the IP block besides Southeast Asia, because I guess the guy who had the license in Southeast Asia complained, but nobody in the Middle East or Africa is complaining yet. So we don't know if they're going to be blocked. We do know
it
that
just seems insane that the developer, okay, it's a company called some Korean company called Lion Games Co. Ltd. Like, it's insane that they think that they can segment the player base this much. Like, I get it. If your game is fucking ginormous, right, and you want to split up the player base, maybe I understand that, right? But if this game is not that, it's not going to be that huge. That's the reality of it. And if you want to segment your player base between like 5 different regions, 5 different publishers, instead of having one busy server, you're gonna have 5 dead ones. Unbelievably stupid.
Wow. You know what's crazy? I was looking up your video to show on the stream while we talked about it. We did the first look for this a year ago. Over a year ago. Isn't that crazy? It took so long to get here.
Yeah, but what's weird is actually this game launched in South Korea, and it launched in Japan before it launched in South Korea even.
Okay, I should say though, most players on the English SoulWorker server were happy this week because there was a chance there was going to be a wipe in open beta.
Yep.
Because of exploits or something. I'm not sure about the details. I don't know if you know. But apparently there weren't.
They said that there might be a wipe before full release. I don't know if they clarified that yet.
But there is not going to be a wipe, they said now.
Good.
Yeah.
The one thing about all the games like SoulWorker though, it still kind of grinds my gears is you don't really make a character. You pick a character, which is kind of weird. Like I picked the guitar wielding lolly, like, and look how few options there are for like customization in the video in the background. Like you could choose like 3 eye colors, right? Like come on, it's 2018. We could do better than 3 eye colors and like 3 hairstyles. Like this reminds you of, again, old school Last Chaos or Shea on area games, like these really old MMORPGs. Like we could do better than that. And when you choose a character instead of making a character, I know Closers is kind of guilty of this as well. It really limits how much you can do. You can't change your gender. You only have very few hair options. It's just kind of lame, you know. And every game that has this mold. In fact, is there a single action MMORPG like this where you have instance dungeons, persistent towns, where you don't just choose a character, you make your character, or are they all? I'm pretty sure they're all character driven, whether it's DFO, whether it's this, whether it's Closers, whether it's Critica.
I think you're right, and I think it's because they're all just copying DFO.
Mm-hmm. But look how cute this character style I made, dude. This game's got a guitar wielding lolly. That alone makes it well worth checking out.
Have you tried this yet or no?
I have not played the English version yet. Again, I've been very addicted to Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing it a bit too much. So when I talked earlier that I was looking forward to getting my new gear. I'm not lying, guys. I am looking forward to getting my new gear. I've been playing nonstop, and it's not even because I need that gear to clear the content. It's because I want to up my parses. I want to get bigger numbers. I'm min-maxing.
So before I left to Puerto Rico, you had beaten the robot, right? Which is number 3 out of 4. Yes. Have you made any progress on the final boss, Kafka, whatever it is?
I've only ran it a few times. I've mostly been helping 2 of my friends clear the Guardian as well. So I've been mostly helping them. Though I did make progress towards Kafka. I didn't beat him yet, but made some progress there.
Do you want to play SoulWorker later, maybe today or tomorrow, and then so we don't start exactly where we did last time we played this together?
Well, before the Grand Fest Friday, we will definitely play a bit more. Okay. But tonight I'm going to do my raid reset, so I'm hyped for that. But I mean, the game looks beautiful. Like that's the thing about SoulWorker too. And what's actually pretty interesting, I don't know if you checked the Steam charts yet. I'm hoping you didn't.
I didn't.
Okay, just take a wild guess how popular this game is. I mean, I'm going to give you some context before you guess, all right? Okay. Let's see how close Altai gets. So I'm going to give you how many people played Critica on Steam when it launched, all right? Okay. Critica Online is getting about... is it 400 players online right now? 24-hour peak of 484. All-time peak, 1,500. Okay. That's for Critica. And then you have Closers, which is getting about 1,100 players online right now. All-time peak of 2,000. How many people do you get playing SoulWorker?
Playing or all-time peak?
Both.
Okay, all-time peak, I'll say, is 10,000. And there are 4,000 playing.
That's actually surprisingly accurate. There are 3,600 players online right now, and all-time peak is 10,061.
Oh, man,
I'm surprised you came back because I was actually mind-blown because Closers only had 2,000 peak, and you had Critica at like 1,400 peak. So why is it SoulWorker at such a higher number? Like, it's so much more popular.
I think they were smart in that they launched open beta on Steam right away. A lot of these games, they do this bullshit where they don't come on Steam till later.
Critica did that, but I think Closers launched, I think, day 1 on Steam. Minus, like, the closed betas. Like, from closed beta to open beta, I think it happened on Steam right away. Like, it's the same, again, kind of game. So I'm amazed at how many more people are playing playing this game. I like the animations. I like the art style. It just feels more fluid to me than what Closers did. It just looks better visually too. I've always felt that way since I first played it.
Okay.
But yeah,
I haven't seen this game since the last year we played it. You know, like over a year.
It's been
ago.
a while.
Yeah. I prefer 2D isometric or side, you know, like side to side, but seeing this makes me remember it. And I think this is better than Closers as a game. Even though I like the 2D-ish part better in Closers. And Critica, I never liked Critica. I don't know. It didn't jive with me. This looks better than Critica.
I remember seeing the original Closers videos, and I'm like, damn, this game looks fucking badass. I feel like Closers is one of the games where I feel like the trailers made it look way more cool than the game actually was. Like, way more cool. Because like then you get to the game and the graphics are nowhere near as good. Like I don't know what they did. I think Elsewhere kind of does it as well, where their trailers look so fucking badass. Like the Elsewhere trailers are fucking amazing. I feel like because they show gameplay in the trailers, and I feel like maybe they're enhancing those trailers because when I play Elsewhere, my graphics don't look that good, right? When I play Closers, my graphics don't look that good the way they do in the Closers trailers and stuff. But this game actually I think looks really good in game.
Yeah, I think so.
And the thing about this game too is I think if I remember correctly, you can do the dungeons in like more difficult options pretty early on, so you can get that challenge early on. I think if the game allows you to have allows you to challenge yourself, even if you don't need to do it. It's nice. It lets you learn your character more, lets you play a little more careful. The worst thing is just closing your eyes and steamrolling the content.
Yeah, I think this was a really smart pickup by GameForge. They can slap it onto Steam, and they're gonna get a nice player base. Good move.
But I still don't understand why the developer shoots themselves in the foot by having like 5 different servers. Just have one.
The developer doesn't know about Steam probably.
Come on.
What? There's some small Korean company. They don't know. They just.
So why are they licensing the game to like 5 different companies in 5 different regions? Just make one company. Just let GameForge have all the licenses, because the way these licenses work, anyways, the developer gets a percentage of revenue.
Yeah.
And if all the players are on one server, like the experience for all the players are better, because MMORPGs are more fun with more people playing them. If you play on a dead server, like why even playing the game to begin with?
Because they weren't even looking to license it. People came to them. So in Japan, someone picked up the license. In Southeast Asia, someone picked up the license, and I think GameForge came third, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was GameForge who initiated this contact. I don't think the developer cared about the West.
But then, if they don't care about the West, in the process of licensing the game for America and Europe to GameForge, the developers like, by the way, just take the rest of the world, because like why not?
No, you can't, because they already have existing contracts.
With South America? Who's the South American publisher?
Southeast Asia and Japan.
But even Southeast Asia, when they gave the Southeast Asia, why not? That was a problem to begin with. Now, like because the game was out in Southeast Asia, why not allow the Southeast Asian version to accept Americans and Europeans? Why GameForge should exist then? Like, we could have had this game a year earlier.
Maybe it might be blocked. Well, then we play some Pinoy server and with 500 ping. I don't know. I'm actually quite happy. I'm actually quite happy it ended up the way it did. All right.
And that's still bullshit too, because even the Southeast Asian publisher, you can have one server for the Americas, and it's not like that costs a lot of money. You know, you pay $100 a month, you get a dedicated server in the Americas region, and if you spend more money, it means you got more players. It's a good problem to have.
I do think we're going to see less and less of this. This was an outlier. I think as you know, the world gets more digital first or whatever, and Steam gets bigger, and a lot of these smaller companies developers today can realize that they themselves can just plop the game on Steam and serve the world. They don't need. They don't want to localize the provide customer support though, because like if you're a developer, like, how many people do you think worked on this game? You're like 20 people, 30 people. I can't imagine the studio behind this game is that big. They don't want to deal with customer support, because people don't realize again that we talked about this with World of Warcraft, that the biggest cost for World of Warcraft since launch has been customer service. The cost of all the customer service agents answering the phone calls, answering the tickets is more expensive than development costs for adding new content. That is baffling. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
people don't realize that either. So a team of like 20 Koreans don't want to do that. I understand the value of publishing for that reason. If you're a giant company, you can afford to do it yourself. But I still think these guys should just told the Southeast Asian publisher, listen, just run the game for the world. By the way, the Southeast Asian version is in English anyway. It's not like it's not in English. So I don't understand why we have to wait for GameForge to pick it up. We should have been able to play on the Southeast Asian version sooner. But whatever. I don't know. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
One big server is just so much better.
Yeah,
but Black Desert for the most part has it figured out. I think Black Desert exists on the They have their Turkish server too, and there's a South American server, which is bullshit. I don't like that either. But they have the one mega server.
What you should say then
for
is
the region.
Eve has it figured out. Basically,
yes,
everyone gets one server, and then China gets its own server. All right, so
yeah,
that's what PUBG should do. PUBG should learn from Eve. All right.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Eve actually is the best system for it. Yeah. It's got a mega server, and it's got no separate bullshit region servers. You know, it's an MMORPG. It's supposed to be massive. You know, massive is the first letter. All right, and you can't be massive with multiple servers.
Deep.
And like, this game is not gonna have the giant player base to support all the servers anyway. It's just a shame that, you know, like with European MapleStory was bullshit too. The Europeans couldn't play on a global GMS, which is global MapleStory, because there was a publisher in Europe that picked up the game. Next on Europe was separate from Next on America.
That was a mistake.
They had to divide their player base, and everyone hated MapleStory Europe because it was literally like behind the content of the American version too, and it was just shittier. Like, I don't understand the decision to do that. It's nonsense.
I think if Nexon could redo it today, they would just have one that serves Europe and America. But remember, Nexon was early on this free-to-play stuff, bringing Korean games to America, and it was a different world, you know, even 10 years ago. So, I think the future is games like Tree of Savior, which didn't actually do well, actually, but the developer did self-publish globally on Steam. So I think that method is going to be the way forward.
Definitely.
Is Eve worth?
I want global servers.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. Don't worry. Is Eve still worth playing now? I think now is the best time to start playing Eve. It's free to play, and you can play for a good long time without capping your skills as free to play. So there's no reason not to try it.
If you like MMORPGs, give it a try. You know, the fact that it's free lets you jump in, you know, right away with no risk stuff. You don't have to buy the game. So if you like MMORPGs, give it a try. It actually is quite a bit different from like every other modern MMORPG. It's nothing like WoW. It's nothing like, you know, Final Fantasy. So it's different.
Eve is like the platypus of MMORPGs. It's just very different than any other mammal.
And we talked a lot about, you know, MMORPGs being their own games. Like they're all copies of WoW to a degree, or just follows that same mold, you know, or the EverQuest mold. Eve exists outside that mold. I think it does a really good job. And it's the fact that it survived all this time. Props to it.
Indeed.
I'm still blown away that SoulWorker has 8,000 players. It peaked at 10,000 players, has like 4,000 players online, considering how much smaller closers and Critica were. Hope the game does well. And that's after the game had a bunch of launch problems too. The servers are mega laggy and unresponsive for a while too, and they still go down, I think, because it's too busy.
All right, your turn.
Yeah. What
do you got?
What do I got? I do want to. I still don't get why the classes are gender locked and you choose characters instead. Someone's got to make a game where you can actually make your own character in a world like this, and maybe you can build instead of like having, because these games don't have classes, you have characters.
Yeah.
You have a class system on top of that instead. Maybe you can choose to be like a brawler or something else. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Someone's got to do it. I wonder if the English version has the Japanese voices. I remember the Japanese voices in this game were mega cute.
There's no way. Maybe someone in chat can
you can mod it.
Maybe. But I don't know why they would do that. It's a Korean game in America or Europe. Why would it have Japanese voices? It doesn't make any sense.
I remember the Japanese version we played had the cutest voices. Oh, there's let's see what else we have. Another mobile game. There's really honestly not too much happened this last week. The really only thing that's really on the horizon is Rift Prime is launching later this week, I believe, and we're going to see if the people are willing to pay money to play a subscription version of Rift without the cash shop. You know, we'll see if people really hate microtransactions the way our MMORPG thinks they do. I feel like microtransactions get a lot more like verbal hate than like people actually caring.
Probably. I think it'll do okay. I think someone in our chat just said earlier that they are looking forward to it because they want that whole progression system. Like they want to go from 1 to max. The early game doesn't have to be shitty. Yeah, I think a lot of people will enjoy. And honestly, I think you would, I know you're busy with Final Fantasy. I won't push it, but you would enjoy Rift. I know I enjoyed it when I played it back in the day, and we seem to have a similar taste. So I think Rift is a good game.
I think Pistol makes a good point. The issue with Rift Prime is that everyone who has ever wanted to play Rift has already played it.
That is a problem. But Pistol, I think you'd be surprised how many people of that group you're talking about
want to play it again.
Want to play. not even the end game. They actually just want to get from 1 to max again. I think as you know, all at the same time together.
They want to relive the nostalgia too.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I think nostalgia is a hell of a thing, which is why, you know, I guess reboots of old movies and stuff like are happening so often. You know, people love that nostalgia. That's why Vanilla WoW nostalgia is real.
When Vanilla WoW launches, I bet you a lot of the players who resub aren't going to do it because they want to raid Molten Core again. I mean, some do, but I think a lot of them will just get from 1 to max and then quit. You know, they miss that.
Nostalgia is a hell of a thing. I would resubscribe to an official Ultima Online server if it launched Classic or T2A, the second age. Like I pay for that in a heartbeat, an official server, but that's never gonna happen.
But here's why you would do it, right? You would do it because you are suspecting that lots of other people would do it with you. Because if you were just gonna do it alone or with like 5 people, you could just find a private server.
Yeah.
So that's why the numbers do matter. You said earlier that don't give me this whole like doing it together thing. Doing it together is so important. And when I played MMORPG, and a few people in chat said it's okay to play an MMORPG alone, like solo. I actually agree with that, but only if you're if you feel like, well, for me at least,
other people are experiencing it with you.
Exactly.
Like, they're not with you in the exact moment. They're in the world with you. They're playing the same game as you.
Yes. When I'm killing those level 20 gnolls, I want to see other people doing it and typing in chat. Where do I go next at level 26? You know, like. That matters to me. If that wasn't there and I was just doing it solo anyway, but without that chat, without seeing anyone, I wouldn't like it.
I think that applies to like basically everything. So it's not really like imagine you can see a movie, right, that no one's ever seen before. It was made specifically for you, Erhan, and no one's ever seen it besides you. But you can't talk about it with anybody. It would kind of make it not as fun to watch. The social aspect of
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that.
You're not buying it?
I'm not buying the example because when I go to a movie theater, which you know we go to theaters all the time. We got Movie Pass, by the way. If you guys don't know what Movie Pass is. Go Google it. It's amazing. $10 a month. You can see one movie at a theater every day. We don't get paid. It's just amazing. Do it.
You sound like that seemed like a paid placement, but no, they didn't give us any money.
No one pays us anything. They did. Yeah. No, but anyway, so we go to movies all the time in the cinemas, right? And I honestly would I prefer it if the cinema's empty, right? I prefer it if I'm going in there alone with you and we just watch it.
But we can talk about it. Like if I watch a movie by myself or I play a game by myself, like the fact I can talk about that game with you, right, with my friends online, like that makes it more meaningful. Like,
yeah. Yes. But that's what I'm trying to say. Even if you can't talk it with your friends, in the world, just seeing someone else killing that gnoll, which let's say I'm never going to talk to that guy, okay? But he's a player, and he's like typing in chat in general chat like, "Hi guys." I'm never going to play with him again, right? I'm not going to friend him. I'm not going to. All right. Just seeing him there makes the game more fun for me.
Yeah, but again, yes. But let's say they were AI. Let's say the AI.
Okay, and they fooled me.
Would it be as fun?
If I didn't know they were AI, probably. Until I figured out they were AI, it would be more.
But you figure out they were AI.
But then I would feel stupid. No, then I just feel stupid.
Would you quit the game? Would you quit the game?
I can't say, but I would feel stupid for sure. Actually, it happened to me.
I think what makes MMORPGs especially fun is just your accomplishments in the game you can share with other people, whether it's strangers, whether it's friends, your status in the game is what you can share with other people. It makes it more fun.
I remember
more so than the actual gameplay itself.
Omer got me to play freestyle too, and in that game you got to play 10 rounds of placements against bots.
Yeah, those are awful.
But it fools you. You don't know you're playing against bots because they have like non-bot names, some of them. So I was like, I think if you didn't tell me I was playing against bots, I don't think I would have known until like 5 games in.
You figure it out pretty quick though, because they take the stupidest shots. Like they keep passing. They never take shots. The bots, they pass like 9 times out of 10. They finally take a shot like randomly. But the bots have really weird names too. Yeah. Like, they like numbers in their names and stuff.
Yeah, it was like tall Asian boy.
Yeah. What was like tall Asian boy? Like tall _ Asian _ BOI. Like they had the weirdest names.
And we actually got another one of our friends to play freestyle with us, and he played freestyle 1 back in the day, so he's doing his placements, and he also didn't believe he was playing in spots, even when we told him, because they were saying they were making a dick joke in chat, like the bots, send out these these messages, so that's amazing. I think that's a whole new can of worms that's going to open up in MMORPGs, in online gaming in general, when you won't know who's a bot and who's not.
That'd be amazing. I don't know if that's. I don't think AI technology is anywhere close to that.
We all watch movies like Ex Machina, right? With like AI. Way before we get that, we're definitely gonna get game bots, chatbots, game bots that fool us. Chatbots are different because you're one-on-one with them, right? You can kind of. But if you're like running from the windy plains to the desolate forest, right? Because you leveled up, and you go into a new zone, and if you see some guy on the left, hopping up and down, attacking a monster and then running, he'll look like a player. You won't engage with him enough to know he's a bot, right? So to your mind, he'll be a player.
Yeah, but what if I see somebody in town, like, and I'm saying he's trying to sell something, right? If I'm trying to negotiate with him.
Well, they won't.
You can tell if they're.
Well, yeah, him. I'm just saying. Imagine there's a guy, outside, just hopping on a fence up and down.
You can't tell. Yeah. If it's just killing a monster and moving around in weird patterns, you can't tell.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see that way before we see actual AI.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. We'll be playing single player MMORPGs then, where we're the only player in a world of bots.
Yeah, I think that would be possible. I think that will happen sooner than maybe 10 years. That we'll get that.
That'd be nice. And maybe make an old game feel more full, or even any existing game feel more full.
Yeah,
it can be done in an interesting way.
I mean, half the players in RuneScape or games like that are just botting anyway, or even if they're not botting, they're playing as if they're botting. Like
they're online.
Yeah, they're like, for 2 hours I'm going to cut wood because I need that for later. Mm-hmm. So he might as well be botting even if he's not.
Yeah. True. Anything else this week? Really, it has been a light week for MMO news.
I got a funny thing. So I'm on the GameForge website as I was talking about SoulWorker, and I just love their website here. So top games, okay? So these are the top games. We got SoulWorker, Terra, O Game, and 2, right? And we scroll down to popular games.
What's the difference between top games and popular?
And it's funny. Popular games is literally all their other games. So they have no unpopular. They have top games and popular. All their games are popular games or top games. I thought that was funny. I don't know why.
I like how Ikari makes that list. I hate the fact I don't know. There's something. I actually hate when I see games like Ikarium, Game of War do well. It actually kind of bothers me. Like very rarely, like will somebody else's success bother me, right? Because like I wish everybody well. When I see a garbage game like Ikarium,
it's old.
Game of War.
It's old. That's why.
Just do well. Or like Gripolis or Travian. These pay-to-win garbage, steaming pile of pay-to-win turds.
Wow, what a hater! Well. What a hater!
And they're not just pay-to-win turds, right? They're just the same turds we've seen from Evany. There are at least 100 games identical to this. It bothers me when they do well. They don't deserve to do well. Right?
I'm gonna play a cam right now.
It's awful. All these games are awful. All these browser strategy games are cancer. The worst kinds of games in existence. They're pure pay-to-win nonsense. They're unoriginal, and they're not fun.
No, they're
dumpster fire, in Azim's words.
I can only go one at a time. But this, to be fair to them, though, this is one of the OG ones. This was like this game is earlier, old. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. O Game is the same shit. They have O Game on there as well. It's just another browser strategy nonsense.
I'm closing this game. Okay, I'm done with that.
All right, maybe we talk about Tekken Mobile a smidgen, but that one's it's a funny one. So, Tekken Mobile officially launched last week, and it's not really a Tekken game. It's really just they took Tekken, the concept of a fighting game, right, and they threw every pay-to-win mobile mechanic at it. So basically, you start the game, and you only have one playable character, literally one, and you unlock the rest by playing the game, right? And like, it's not like a fighting game where you can actually attack stuff. You don't just like mash your buttons and kill enemies.
So it's not real time.
No, you have to like use use cards, which basically tell you what attacks you're going to use, right? But like you have to unlock different attacks, and different attacks have different star ratings. Like there's the different like strengths, the attacks and the special moves, and you unlock them the same way you might do in like a waifu collector, right? Like it would just grind forever to unlock them, and some are just better than other attacks. Like if you're playing against a guy who's got more abilities than you, you just play at a massive disadvantage. So it's almost like Clash Royale or something, where like it just they took a fighting game and they stripped of all the competitive fighting elements and they made this mobile trash pay to win.
You know what? I actually like it.
What?
So I put up the news for this. It feels like a year ago when it was first announced, and I thought at the time this would be so stupid. A mobile game, like a fighting game on mobile, wouldn't your thumbs hurt? Like it'd be annoying, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that it basically turned it into a card game. It's obviously not Tekken, first of all. Okay, don't compare it. It's not actually Tekken. So don't compare it. Yeah, don't compare it to other Tekken games. But as a standalone idea, right? As an idea of a fighting game, is a turn-based fighting game where I guess the turns happen simultaneously. Is that how it works? Like both players put down a card. I
Something
think
like that. I haven't played it yet.
that sounds pretty cool. Now, whether this game did it well or not, I don't know. I haven't played this game, but as a concept, it sounds pretty good. It sounds like almost like Atlas Reactor.
No, but Atlas Reactor wasn't pay to win nonsense.
Oh well, yeah. Whether this is pay to win or and poorly done, I don't know. But the concept of a fighting game, two fighters, and each turn, you each play. One guy punches, one guy ducks, so then the punch misses, right? And then you get in the next turn, you got to do something. That concept can go far. I think there's an idea there. I never thought about it until you mentioned it.
But I hate that monetization mechanic though, to a degree.
Well, obviously, everyone hates pay to win, but like as a concept, it's pretty cool.
Huh?
I think.
I mean, I don't know. I hate the star ratings, but and you unlock the ability. It's not Tekken. Don't call it Tekken. It's not Tekken. It's not a fighting game. Disingenuous.
I think it's pretty. Did you hear about this? Maple Story Blitz came out in 16 select countries. Not America though. Do you know what Maple Story Blitz is?
It's just no.
It's a card game.
It's a card game.
It's a card game, baby.
Oh yeah. It's Clash Royale.
Yeah, with 3 lanes.
Yeah, it's Clash Royale with 3 lanes. Same
So
shit.
Maple Story card game, baby. What do you think?
I'll play it. I like Clash Royale, even though it's pay to win nonsense. I like Maple Story. Like I make no bones about it. All right, I'm nostalgic about Maple Story. I like to talk about Maple Story. If I see people that played Maple Story back in the day, we shoot the shit. Maple Story is one of my favorite games. In fact, the Maple Story Steam page today, if you go on Maple Story Steam page, it says there's a quote on there on Steam from an old MMORPG review, and it appears on their Steam page. It says Maple Story is hands down one of the best free-to-play MMORPGs of all time, and that's an MMORPG review. If you click on it, and it says my name is next to it. I stand by that quote. I think Maple Story is a phenomenal game. One of my favorites.
I would agree. This game looks weird, but it looks more like Maple Story 2, doesn't it?
Yeah, the graphically it's a lot like Maple Story 2. Oh shit, no, the Maple Story actually in 2013 they updated the review and they get some other guy's names on it, but the quote's gone now.
Oh no.
So the quote isn't even on MMOD anymore, but that quote was from my OG review. It was an OG Omer quote from Maple Story on MMOD, God knows how many years ago. And they updated it to a 3. They gave it a 3 out of 5. Oh my god, who is this guy? Who reviewed this game on MMOD? Mr. Jonar Isip. Gotta fire that guy. He doesn't know. 3 out of 5. Come on. Maple Story ain't no 3 out of 5.
I got a funny story. It kind of relates to the bot thing. So there's this game. Oh my, what is this game called? It's an Asian OX Quiz Survival. Have you heard of it? Let me see.
No.
OX Quiz.
Quiz Survival.
So it's basically a quiz game on your phone. You know, like the quiz up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it works is there's 100 people. You can see it on the video. So it asks you a quiz question, and then you have to click yes or no. And then it's something like, the first astronaut was from Russia. Yes or no, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you push yes, you go on the left side. No, you're on the right side. And then everyone on the right side, on the wrong side, dies, right? And it keeps going.
That's actually so cool. That looks fucking amazing.
Yeah. And so
this game looks awesome.
Yeah, Donut found this, right? So we were playing it, and she was playing it for like an hour before I did. And she's like, "Oh, so cool! You play against all these people, and then one guy wins, right?" And I played it, and I immediately realized,
they're all bots.
You're all bots. You're playing by yourself. Because the question was like, something so stupid. It was like, Antarctica is a continent, yes or no? Or it was a very obvious question, and it was 50-50. Like 50 people moved to the left with me, and like 50,
I feel like I could easily see 50% people getting that wrong.
No, but, well, we tested it after that. Like we just disabled internet, and it still worked.
Okay, I mean you play the game without internet. Yeah. Obviously you're playing against bots.
Yeah. So, but this game would be really cool if you were playing against players, but you're not.
Mm-hmm. Right. That could be cool. Though. Yeah, true. I play that. Is that in English?
Yes, it is. I just searched a random quiz. I ran a random video, but yeah, we can. If we go out to eat or something, we can play it. So you get who wins.
Anything else?
I got to start about Dauntless. So Dauntless had changed their axe combat mechanics, and while I'm not really too interested in axe combat mechanics, I do want to talk.
Axe combat guy? You don't live for axe combat changes?
Not really, but I do want to talk about Dauntless a bit.
Before we go there, what is your favorite kind of axe? Can you in fact, no, you know what? Can you name 4 kinds of axes? Let's go. I want to hear 4 names of axes. Let's go. Let's hear them. Go.
Hatchet.
Boom, that's 1. You only know that from Rust.
Double axe.
All right.
War axe.
Is that really an axe? I feel that's more of a mace.
Chainsaw.
Chainsaw is not an axe.
Whoa, what's the difference? Tomahawk. Thank you.
No, you're cheating. You're listening to the chat. I disqualify you.
Well, hold up. Is chainsaw an axe?
Chainsaws aren't axes.
Why? They're automatic.
You use axes like to hack away at something. You don't hack away with a chainsaw. You just kind of like press it in.
Hold up. Is an automatic rifle a rifle?
Sure.
So then a chainsaw
by no stretch.
A chainsaw is an automatic axe. Is it not?
No.
I think it is.
I ain't buying it. It's a saw. It's a saw. A chainsaw is a saw. There you go. It's not called a chain axe. If it's called a chain axe, you're right.
Isn't a saw? What's this? Oh, I guess saws go up and down instead of
saws. Yeah, saws are not axes.
Fire axe. All right. My bad.
I'll tell you Liz. Continue your story. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay. No problem. So we played Downless a while back, and I think we both had fun because we kept playing longer than we usually do for Grandfest Friday. But this game is still not out. What are they waiting for? Don't they realize that every day? But don't they realize that if Monster Hunter World comes out for PC before this, they're doomed?
I think they're already honestly doomed. The problem, we had fun with it, but the problem is once you play that game for 3-4 hours, you're like, okay, I've seen everything, and everything else is kind of reiterations of this. But the good thing about that game, remember we talked about early game versus late game? The early game was fun in that, but the problem is that's all there is. I feel like right from the get-go, that game was actually kind of fun because you're fighting bosses and you're learning their patterns right from the beginning. That was actually really fun early on. But the problem, it just felt like there wasn't more there. It was like you just kept doing. Once you learned the boss fight, that was it. There wasn't much else there.
I think, but even there's not much there. They got to launch. What are they waiting for? They got to get the word out now. They're on a deadline. Like the Monster Hunter World's coming out. It's around at the same time. So they really got it.
Shows you can make the early game like fun right away. But that's because it's not like an MMORPG. This is like a lobby based. I mean, there is progression, like gear progression, the way you would have in an MMORPG. But I don't know if this actually, this is not an MMORPG. This is just some lobby based game.
I don't know.
So yeah, the early game is fun though. I'll tell you that the early game is fun. I agree. They got to launch. I don't know what they're waiting for, and just fix it along the way. It'll be free. I mean, maybe they still want to milk the Founders Pack's money, but it will be free to play at launch though, whenever that is. But if Monster Hunter World launches, I don't know. It's worth just buying Monster Hunter World at that point.
Yeah, I think they're on a deadline and they gotta move fast.
Monster Hunter World sold over 7.5 million copies, best-selling Capcom game of all time.
I heard. I'm not surprised. I mean, that makes sense. Why not? What surprised me was Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever it's called sold 7 million copies, 7.6 million or something in 1 year.
Wow.
I think is that a PS4 exclusive? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Sure it is.
You know what? I might buy this to play it because it looks really cool. It looks really bright. I like it.
You know what game I'm looking forward to from Capcom? Unrelated. Mega Man 11. Have you seen that?
I haven't. Mega Man 11.
It's search Mega Man 11. Look at the official trailer. The problem is, look, they're trying to make an old school Mega Man game, right? But with like newer graphics. So if you look at it, it's kind of cool. But the problem is, I actually don't like these graphics as much as like Mega Man X's graphic.
It looks kiddie.
Mega Man X 1, 2, and yeah, but look how much better was Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3's visuals and art style.
It was gritty.
Mega Man 11.
Just like childish.
I feel like if they just made if they made the same game with Mega Man X's graphics, it would just be better.
Yeah, just sharper.
I'm still gonna play it.
Like Mega Man X, but sharper graphics.
It didn't have to be. It's just exactly like Mega Man X. Like
I mean,
don't
even that would be better than this. This looks like a little. This looks like this looks like a Unity like tech demo.
It still looks fun though. Yeah, I don't like the art style because it's got this really cartoony kitty look to it. But if they did this, I don't know. I always wondered why don't they make like Capcom has some great friends. Like if they just made Mega Man X style game with just new levels, 8 new bosses or something, boom, they'd sell millions of copies.
So let's test this because maybe we're biased because we played Mega Man X. So guys, watch this and compare it to this. Which style do you like better?
But ask the viewers, what looks better, Mega Man 11 visuals or Mega Man X?
Now I know X is like worse graphics, like technically, but I'm talking about the aesthetic, like art style. Yeah, like, doesn't this look a little more mature? I don't know, mature, I guess is the best word.
I think it looks better.
I think so too. But we could definitely be biased. We could just be
No, they did do the Secret of
the
Mana.
first one was
reward
so
as
cool.
well.
More anime. Older looks more arcadey. I don't. I'm definitely gonna try it though. Maybe
Yeah, I'm gonna
not.
try it too.
Yeah.
I agree, Leia Wolf. 100% on the X. All right, with that, we're talking about Mega Man. We should take it to the post game. I do want you to try. We have a little bit of a treat in the post game. Altai is gonna try playing. Altai's gonna try logging in to Final Fantasy 11, and we'll see how he handles the early game. And the early game being is logging into the game. See if he can handle it.
That's
I
super
couldn't handle
early.
it.
Okay.
I failed the quest.
Okay, so
I had to get help.
before we start, we should know Omer fails. So before you guys laugh at me too hard, I haven't tried it. I just installed it. I'm gonna stop the stream here. Thanks for watching, guys.
YouTube?
Yeah, for YouTube. I'm gonna keep the stream going. I'm not gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop recording. So take care, guys.
Later for YouTube.
Yep. Peace.
All right.